Hi there, this is Janet Gerstensiegel, and I'm the Lonely Writer. This is serious social media help for the independent author. The independent author is defined as being an author who does not yet have an agent. All this month I'm doing daily prompts for NaNoWriMo. These prompts are in kind of an interesting order, so please feel free to mix them up, double back, take them out of order, skip a few, look at them later, whatever you like. Otherwise, I think you're going to end up with kind of an incoherent story. In any event, today's prompt is just one word, and it's the word laughing. It's a really obvious word, of course, but it's also a gerund. So I'm using the verb form where we're kind of in the process of laughing. It's not laughed, which would be past tense. We did it yesterday, or we did it a minute ago. And it's not will laugh in the future, or would laugh, which is conditional. Instead, we're talking about something happening in the here and now, right now. Now, part of this, of course, is about simply being pleasant. You know, laughing it's a good feeling and it's a good sound. People like it. It can be about humor. Making somebody laugh is, a lot of people look at that as being one of the primary things that they want in a mate, is someone who can make them laugh. Or, to take the other side of it, somebody who will laugh at their jokes. But is laughter relative? You know, do we measure it objectively? And I think we don't really measure it objectively, but we could all kind of get a sense of a qualitative difference between what is almost sort of this golf clap kind of laughing, where we're being polite about this or that, versus when it's something that just sort of like, you know, you're busting a gut and it's really, really hysterical and you can barely catch your breath. Now let's flip this script a little bit. Of course, we know what it means when a person is laughing, and the connotations of humor, but there's also a kind of a dark side to this where laughing and humor can be nasty and even offensive. Maybe we're laughing at inappropriate things. You know, what happens if we crack up at a funeral? Even if something is fairly amusing, you know, like let's say there's, you know, a pratfall occurs, you know, somebody just falls down and we find that funny. Well, you know, you're at a funeral, so it's the heart and soul of inappropriateness. Furthermore, we might be laughing at others' misfortunes and problems, and not just a pratfall, which is where the implication is that nobody gets hurt and that, you know, you get up, you dust yourself off, and you move on with your day. You know, you live to fight another day. But when somebody truly and seriously is hurt, laughing at that is completely inappropriate. Ethnic jokes, I think a lot of people these days would find them to be extremely inappropriate. They may or may not find it inappropriate for other ethnic groups, but they damn sure find it inappropriate for their own. It may correlate a bit with life experience, with a degree of sophistication. You know, as you get older, you tend to laugh at things that are more dry humor versus the pratfall kind of thing. Now, and the other thing is the question of how negative can laughter really get? You know, when is it negative? And one of the ways that it can be negative is when you look at the act of tickling itself, which isn't exactly what the prompt is, but it kind of goes along with it. Tickling can be a very pleasant experience, but it can also be kind of a form of physical abuse, and it can even be a form of sexual abuse. In particular, if somebody tells you to stop and you refuse, then you're kind of starting to fall into what could turn out to be a level of abuse. You may not even mean to be doing that. You may not think that that's the case, but again, you're touching somebody in a manner that they don't want you to be touching them, even if permission was given earlier. Now it's being withdrawn. So laughter can be a symptom, it can be a sign, and it can be a hallmark that's going along with something that's actually extraordinarily negative. Finally, this is Janet Gerstensiegel, and I'm the Lonely Writer, because an independent writer never has to be alone. Thanks so much for listening, and good luck with NaNoWriMo.